Mutiny on the Bounty, the 1935 film, is the latest film I've watched in my attempt to watch every single Oscar Best Picture winner. And I have to say, this isn't my kind of film. It's not a film I would ever have really watched were it not for the fact that I was watching it for this purpose. I enjoyed bits of it. It's not amazing for me in terms of narrative, but there are aspects of it that I can see why it would have been well received. I must also point out, though, that this is based on a true story, but I am not really familiar with it, so I can't vouch for its historical accuracy. If you are aware of the film and you are aware of the situation around this, situation around which this involves, let me know. Let me know if you know if it's accurate or not. That would be very interesting. So this was released, as I said, in 1935, not to be mistaken with the 1960s version, directed by Frank Lloyd, and stars Charles Laughton, Clark Gable, and a bunch of other really great actors. And that's the first thing I want to mention. The acting is very good. It was actually nominated for Best Actor in a leading role. Actually, there were two. Franchot, I'm probably mispronouncing that, and Charles Laughton. And also Clark Gable were all nominated for Best Actor. It was also nominated for Best Director, Screenplay, Film Editing, and Music. Went on to win Best Picture. The acting is very good. Really, really brilliant performances. We have a great bunch of characters. Some of them are likeable, some of them are really not. And I feel like the characters stay true to who they are, but with character development throughout, I have no issues there at all. As I said, it was nominated for Best Music, and I completely support that. The soundtrack is fabulous. There was one point where Rule Britannia was played, which made me very happy because I love that song. That's the only one that I recognised. I'm just going to assume the rest of the score was composed for the purpose of the film. That may not be the case, but I did, I liked the soundtrack. Visually, it is pretty striking. We have some, obviously, kind of vast scenery. A lot of this is obviously set on board of the Bounty, on the ship, and it feels like you're there some of the time. You kind of feel the intensity, you can feel the weather, you can feel the atmosphere and the tension as some of these men begin to, I guess, rub off the wrong way on one another. Basically, what this is about, I haven't described that yet, is it's based on the real life 1788 mutiny on the Bounty. And there's a revolt against the ship's commander, Captain Bligh, led by First Mate Fletcher Christian. So it's very intense. There are a lot of different opinions floating around and different sides that are taken. It is mostly a male-led cast, which is quite weird to watch. There are women in it, but for the most part, just given the time that it was made, the time that it was set, 1788, which is a brilliant year. That was the year Lord Byam was born. There are very few females in this, but there are some. It's just, it took me a little while to realise why it felt a bit off. But it's not a problem. It's obviously making it more historically accurate. It is a good film. The reason I just personally didn't gel with it that much is quite simply it's not my kind of film. I'm glad I've seen it to say I've seen it. I am now aware of the mutiny on the Bounty. I know that it was an event now, and I'm a bit more familiar with it, which is good, so I've learned something. But as I said, if there are historical inaccuracies, please do let me know. I didn't mind watching it. It's about 2 hours. Glad I've seen it. Wouldn't watch it again, but I would recommend it if this is your kind of film, or if you are working your way through the Oscars, then I'd say don't bother leaving this till the end, because it is pretty decent. I might watch the 60s version at some point, just to see how it compares, but not anytime soon. Mutiny on the Bounty, not the best film I've ever seen, but pretty good, and I can see why it won the Oscar.